Okay, man. Thank you, man. That was awesome. Welcome to the basement. That's BASSmint. Welcome everybody that's watching this. We just saw something that very unusual. I can't wait to talk about that. But before we get on to that piece there, let's introduce the rest of the bass players that's hanging out here in the basement.
How you doing, sir?
You want to grab pull your bass out and stuff too? Go ahead and pull it out. And we really gonna have to get a red light one day, Rich.
Huh?
We really gonna have to get a red light one of these days. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, let me introduce all of the other bass players that's hanging out with us here in the basement. Again, that's BASSmint. But first, tell me your name.
My name is Wolfie. Mike Wolf. Wolfie.
Okay. Sometimes I lose my mind. I forget stuff. So, and on my left is, tell us your name.
Buckaroo Holmes.
Buckaroo Holmes, a Detroit bass player. Right now, he rocking is that acoustic bass?
Acoustic, yep. The Playmate.
Now, how is it pronounced? Is it acoustic or acoustic?
I believe it's acoustic. That's acoustic. You the music people.
I'm also from the hood too. You know, we say a lot of stuff wrong. So
I believe it's acoustic.
Acoustic, not acoustic. Okay. Also on my next to him, tell us your name, Tim.
Tim Blackman.
If he would have said something else, that would have been funny, right? Also, Detroit bass player. What you rocking there, brother?
I got a 5-string PB Dyna bass.
That's awesome, man. And next to him is another bass player, but he's from Augusta, Georgia. Augusta, Georgia bass player hanging out in Detroit.
Yes, sir.
In the basement, bro. Thanks for coming all the way from Augusta just to hang out with us. You know, I'm just playing, but I know you're here to see family, but it sounds so good when I say just to come to see us. But anyway, what kind of bass is you rocking there, brother?
This is Ives bass.
This is whose bass?
Ives bass.
Oh, that's my bass.
Big Ives bass.
And it's a Fender Deluxe 5-string jazz bass, American Deluxe. Excuse me. That's a nice bass, but it's injured right now. The G string is injured. It needs to go to the hospital. We're gonna take care of that soon. Also hanging with us on my this side. Tell us your name, Eric.
Eric William Markley.
Welcome back to the basement, brother. Just did an interview with him, folks. Check it out. Whenever we post it up, you know how slow I am. However, for a small donation of $1,000, I have it posted tomorrow. So, the more money, the quicker the post. Next to him, tell us your name, sir.
Mike Wolf, son of the man in the hot seat.
All right. Now, do you play bass?
Me? I play guitar a little bit. I'm trying to get into the bass, you know.
Go ahead and get into the bass, man. Feel the difference between the two, and listen to the difference between them. See, next time I see you, tell me who won. You know what I mean? Also hanging out with us in the basement. Tell us your name, sir.
Skip Simons.
Skip Simons going to do an interview with him. What kind of bass that you rocking there, brother?
I'm rocking a Lakeland 4401.
That is. I can't wait to interview because I can't wait to hear that bass. Also sitting next to him, tell us your name, sir.
I'm Dean Strong. I'm an admirer of bass players.
And you're a keyboard player. What kind of keyboards that you reckon? Oh, that's just some paper.
It's a sheet of paper.
All right. That's okay. Taking notes.
That's from my granddaughter while he's sitting here.
Yeah, they was having fun over there
We
too.
were. Ruined your film.
Yeah. It's gonna be okay. You'll never see it. And we got a new person here. Tell us your name.
My name is Roderick Gaston, or you guys can call me Rod for short.
And what you rocking there, brother?
Rocking with the bass mods K534.
Oh man, that's nice, man.
Thank you.
Welcome to the basement. Never seen you in the basement before, but welcome, brother.
Thank you.
Hopefully get an interview with you one of these days, because that's what we do here. Our goal is to interview every single last Detroit bass player from all over the world. And it ain't just restricted to Detroit either. You saw the Augusta guy over there.
Right.
And we in the hot seat right now is a New York guy, but I can't get to him until I introduce everybody. Continue with, tell us your name, sir.
Everybody in here know what my name is. Anybody come in and tell me what my name is right now? You can come back. What's my name?
Reginald Canty.
Oh yeah.
Reginald Canty, the owner of the basement, the man with the keys to the basement, the man with all kinds of basses in the basement.
Yes.
Even that cardboard box bass over there, I think that's mine though.
Yeah, that is yours.
We got all kinds.
Take it home.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it home one day, not yet. Also next to him, tell us your name.
I'm Andrea Julian, mother of the spaces over there, DeAndre Julian, also a woodwind instrumentalist.
Right, all the way from Augusta and Dad, right?
Yep, Donovan Julian, and I play domino.
Now,
That's the best one.
oh, that's funny, y'all. For those of you who watch every episode of this, y'all gonna love his answers on each different one. He plays a different instrument on every one. But what brings y'all to Detroit, man, for real?
I have a nephew that's graduating actually this Tuesday, so we're down here to support.
Okay, cool. Now back to the speaking of bass players from all over the world and doing stuff. We got a New York bass player who truly came all the way just to hang out with us in the basement. Welcome to the basement, Mike.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
But I'm going to call you from here on out. I'm going to call you Woofy.
Cool, whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of bass is that you got there,
It's
man?
a Fender Jazz bass.
A Fender Jazz bass, and it look like it's got some writing on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some lyrics that I wrote. The go by, which is whatever you want it to be, as far as, you know, your higher power. For me, it's the edge, whatever it could be, you know, whatever you go by, the truth, you know.
Right. And now, for us experiencing this for the first time, watching you did not, on your, what's called your plug hand, you did not use any fingers. You're using a doohickey. And I'm going to zoom in on this doohickey. What is that doohickey?
It's called the WOLFF BONE. I used to always call it the bone, but, you know, my last name was Wolf, so somebody said call it the WOLFF BONE. I've had it for 20 years. I was never in a band, so I used to play in my basement until one day some fellow heard me playing, and he thought the sound sounded different. He asked me, "Do you play with a pick?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, good, you play with your fingers." Because that's what everybody always asks. You play with a pick? You know, they don't like picks, they like fingers. I said, "No, I don't play with my fingers." He said, "What do you play with?" I said, "I play with a WOLFF BONE." So the guy thought that was a little unique. He said, "What is that?" And I showed him, and the fellow wanted to buy one. I said, "I don't sell these things, you know, I'll make you one." So, you know, I went home and told my son about it. I said, I was so surprised somebody wanted to buy the WOLFF BONE. I was shy to show it to anybody. So what we did was we went to 2 music stores, one after the other, just to see what kind of reaction I would get by people. And I got the same reaction in both stores, where I go in the back of the corner and start to play, and people would gather around me wanting to know, how do I get that tone? Because I don't know if I could do this, but
Go ahead.
you know, it's It's a little different. I don't know if you can hear it through that, but
Yeah.
you know, it's different. Plus you can get your octaves, you know. Very easy to play, for me anyway. It takes time to learn, but
Just like
Easy
the
to play.
bass itself, it takes time to learn.
so by the end of that day, I owed 8 people wolf bones, you know. Because I told them I don't sell these things, I'll make you one, and that was my downfall because I went home and I realized, man, it's not that easy to make. It takes me about 6 months to make one, you know, believe it or not. And so I knew I couldn't do it, and in front of me was a drumstick by the Vic Firth Company. I didn't know anything about the Vic Firth Company, but I wrote a little letter saying, you know, what had happened to me that day, that I went to a couple of music stores, I owe 8 people a wolf bone, any way you could help me make them. And I thought I'd get a little letter back from the company saying, no, we're not interested, you know, thank you very much. But instead, it was 3 weeks later, once I had forgotten I wrote that letter, I got a phone call, and the fella said, hello, I'm calling to speak to Michael Wolff, this is Vic Firth. I couldn't believe it. You know, I don't know if anybody knows who Vic Firth is, but he's big, you know. He played 50 years with the Boston Symphony Orchestra and developed this great big company. Makes 12 million drumsticks a year plus other things, you know. So I told him, I said, I can come down there and show you the wolf bone and how it works. He was a nice guy. He said, no, I don't want to send you on a wild goose chase. But if you want to send me a video, and we can go from there. And that's what I did. And I got a call back from him saying, yeah, come on down, I want to meet you. I brought my bass and an amp, and I sat in front of the board. Quite a few nice gentlemen. They listened to me play, and Vic helped me quite a bit. He makes them for me, and God rest his soul, he passed away a couple years ago. But one of the nicest fellows I ever met in my whole life. He signed a shirt for me, gave me drumsticks. My wife and I came down to Boston to meet him. And I swear to goodness, I had to leave that factory before he gave me the whole place, you know.
Right.
He kept saying, do you play this, do you want that? You know, and everything he signed for me. He was just that type of guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he helped me a lot, I gotta say.
Okay, so I kind of got off format. My first thing I would like to say is, I'd like to ask is, when did you start playing the bass? And why?
Okay, I was 22 years old, and I was at a party, and this fellow said, I have a bass for sale for $15. And I bought it, and it was about a $15 bass. It had 3 strings, missing a tuning peg, but I loved it, you know. I bought a cheap amplifier. I went home, I put on John Entwistle with The Who, and I tried to mimic him, which was impossible. The guy's unbelievable. And I went from there. I took 2 lessons. They were the same 2 lessons because the guy showed me the C scale. I'd go home and still try to play like Entwistle. Go back to the guy and he said, you didn't practice what I showed you. So that was the end of my lessons, you know. I just had no patience for learning like that. You know, I don't know what it was.
Hey, I'm telling you, some people, they see an instrument and say, I want to play that thing. Oh, I think I would take some lessons. And then you start telling them, well, you got to know what these strings are. This is an E string. What? I got to know I got to know a note.
Right.
You know, and then they put the guitar, it's like, and then it's the same thing with fingernails, you know. Somebody come up here with claws as fingernails, and you tell them, oh, you might want to chop those down a little bit, and then they just say, forget it. You
I have
know?
a very strange concept of bass playing for myself, whereas I never learned songs. For me, I just always wanted to see what the thing sounded like. In other words, experimenting with it, getting alternate, just getting different tones. I just loved it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because folks, everybody ain't trying to go be on the stage in front of 50, 100,000 people. Some people, Buckaroo can attest to that. Some people just want to pick up a bass and experiment and not know a thing.
That's what I was.
Just go in the home in that basement. That's BASSMINT, and just twiddle with the thing and mess around and they're happy. You know, everybody's not trying to do it. And you say you were that kind of guy, but you also came up with the wolf bone. And folks, this man was kind enough. He contacted me from via Reggie. He always leave when I need him. You can save it for questions.
Yeah.
Don't forget your questions though. Hey Reggie.
See, for me, the tone was so different and sharp and clean that I fell in love with it. It took about 5 years really to develop it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me get Reggie down. Reginald Canty. It was really important the part I was about to do, and he ain't. Yeah.
Ready to slip off.
Well, you just got to run security. You know, you can't have people running all around the town.
Man.
Yeah. I gotta give you something, man. So this man was kind enough to contact me via email or via Facebook or whatever media it was. He's like, hey, Ive, I like the show and everything, and I wanted to give you these things. And I had seen them before, previously. You know, you're pretty popular thing. This is pretty popular. I've seen it before. But for you to contact me and say, hey, man, I want to give you a couple. I got one for you. I have one for Reginald Canty. So Reginald Canty,
Thank you very much.
here's your wolf bone to try on the fretless. See, now he hadn't put it on the fretless yet, so now you might want to try that. And then mine is at home, of course. And then this third one is for Brandon Rose. So Brandon Rose, come and get your wolf bone, brother. You out of college and everything right now, so come and get it.
I'm a big fan of Brandon. I think he's great, and
now by the time I show this, he'd be back
he's
for a
another
sophomore.
experimenter, you know, with tone, and you know, I think there's nothing like it, you know.
So Reg, I'm gonna leave Brandon's over here because I know he's coming back to the basement.
I use them for finger bobbins.
Cause Brandon is a big fan of the show.
They're light and easy to use. And
Okay, I know you want to sell your product, brother. So we're gonna get around to
about it. I just want to get
now, because I have, I gotta play pros and cons, right? So, how much damage is this thing going to do to your strings or your bass guitar?
Same thing with what Vic Firth asked me. None at all, you know. Doesn't do any damage at all. In fact, when I play it, I hardly. You touch the string so lightly, or you could whack it, but it doesn't even bring it to the wood, you know. No damage. But I agree. That's a good question.
I had to ask. Now,
that's a good question.
I've seen some video demonstrations of your product. Who is killing on your? Who's killing with the wolf bone? Who's the beast with the wolf bone?
That's me. You know. Well, you don't see me. In other words, you see that. Yeah.
Oh, that was you killing it.
Yeah.
Cause I never see your face on anything, man.
No. Well,
I can blur your face out for this interview. If you want to, you could have wore a mask and just kept it totally anonymous, man.
You're like,
I apologize. I apologize to anybody watching those videos. I have 5 or 6 of them up, and for some reason, it only comes out one ear, and that's just the way I recorded it. I'm not savvy with computers or how things work and plugs and wires. I just, you know.
Now, do you sell these?
Yes.
So if somebody wanted to buy them, where could they personally? Because I know you sold quite a few, right?
Yeah, well, wolfbone.com, you can order them.
Now, our spelling of wolf is what?
And my last name is Wolf with 2 F's, so I made it Wolf Bone with 2 F's. Wolf with 2 F's, wolfbone.com.
So it's WOLFFBONE.
That's correct.
.com. All right, so folks, y'all go check it out. I mean, it's a pretty useful tool. And then for those guys who don't want to cut their fingernails, here you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you don't want to cut your fingernails because you got to keep them all, whatever the word is I'm looking for, you can use things like the WOLFF BONE. Now, so you've been playing quite a long time. How long ago did you say you came up with the WOLFF BONE?
Oh, I've had it for 20 years. I have a picture I can show you later, and if you want to insert it into the film, of me using one, and my son Michael's with me, and he's probably 2 feet tall, you know.
And that's when you first had the WOLFF BONE?
I remember having it then. I don't even know when I developed it or how I developed it. I do know that if you take a drumstick and you hit a bass string with it, it's got a beautiful clean tone. You can't match it with a pick or your fingers. Not to say that it's any better, but it's just a different clean tone.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with variety.
And there was this other fella, I'm trying to remember his name, he was a bass player. He had what they called the funk fingers.
Tony Levin.
Tony Levin. I thought that was a great idea too, but it's, you know, it's encumbersome.
Baba Bear.
It's hard to hit. See, with this here, you can hit any string. You know, anything you want to hit. You know, you can just go crazy and hit the right note. It's not like willy-nilly or nothing like that. And it's known for its tone, rhythm, and speed, really.
Okay, any endorsers of your product? Any bass players endorsing your product?
There's quite a few that use it right now. I wouldn't mention their names unless I asked them, and I didn't. But Vic Firth had given it to a few very high-profile bass players, and he called me up himself, excited one day, and said, that, you know, they loved it and all, you know. And one guy thought it was, he used a word, I forget what it was, encumbersome or something like that. But he didn't really know how to use it. So.
Right, well like with anything,
yeah, with anything,
practice.
You know. Yeah.
Practice, you get better with
Yeah,
practice.
exactly.
So, man, you know, I ain't want to keep you and none of that kind of stuff, but I did want to know, by you playing the bass all of these years, did you have any, like, favorite bass players or bands that, you know, you really digging?
Yeah. Reginald, Canty, you know, you guys are all great. One of my all-time favorite, of course, was John Entwistle. I got to meet him one time in a small club where he was playing, and my wife said, there he is at the bar. I turned around, and sure enough, he's standing there having a drink all by himself. Nobody saw him there. So I went up, kind of nervous. I wasn't going to shake his hand because, to me, that hand you don't touch, you know. But he put his hand right out to me, and he shook my hand, and his hand wrapped around mine. I'm just like his talent, you know. And he was just a fantastic guy. God rest his soul also. And Chris Squire, Geddy Lee, I could go through the whole...
The usual suspects.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, what I really admire a lot is drummers. I think if a bass player wants to get real good, listen to some drummers. There's one guy, his name is Wright, Larry Wright. He's a bucket drummer in New York City. He plays in the subways. This guy is unbelievable.
I've seen him.
Larry Wright. And I jam with him on YouTube. I think I've jammed with almost every guy on YouTube that plays a drum. You know, and that's how I got quick and all. I can't play right now, not in front of everybody. I stiffen up.
Well,
I'm home and relax. Like if you want to look at a couple of the videos that I have on there, through the one a year, I'm sorry about that, but you'll see how you can really move.
Well, it's something about that seat you sitting in, man. A lot of people get affected as soon as they sit in the hot seat and with all these other bass players.
Yeah, they're intimidating. Look at the way they play.
It's something happened. But that's okay. We will go watch your stuff. But like I said, I ain't want to keep you, but I want to know if any of these other bass players might have a question for you.
I do.
Yeah.
Could you show me a little bit of the right hand?
Yeah, well, try to keep it towards the tips of your fingers. Some people try to hold it up here.
Well,
and
I'm just curious. Are you using more? Is it more of a finger motion, or is it more of a kind of a forearm motion? Yeah. Okay, so in other words, you're at the elbow.
Yeah, I just.
There's not a lot. You're not like trying to do it.
It's like in the wrist, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like you're playing the piano.
Okay, so it's very similar to how you work on the drum set. The stick wants to bounce, let it bounce.
It bounces, it hits the string and it wants to, the wolf bone has a mind of its own. Once you start playing it for a while, it really does.
That's cool.
It does what it wants to do and you just go with it. But it's like learning how to play guitar with a pick or your fingers. You're not going to get it right away. It's not like you're going to pick it up and go like crazy. It takes time, and it's like anything else.
I have a question. So does it have a rubber edge on it or a rubber tip on that one? Or
No.
is it a different? I thought that one had a rubber boot on it.
The sound of the wood itself, to me, is the tone. I could make them like that. Another fella asked me to put a tiny light in there, so when he's on stage, you know, it would, you know, you could see the light go.
Music activity.
There's a lot of ideas you can have. I did think of making a little rubber ring that would go around that. It would give it more of a thumpier sound, but I haven't really pursued that. What I like is the fact is the length. Now you play a note back here, as opposed to up here, you get a different tone.
That's correct.
And with the bone, I don't know if you can, that's one note. And like I said, the rhythm, you know, I can never come up with these rhythms with my fingers. The bone just kind of takes over.
Well, that's pretty good, man. And yeah, you could.
And listen to the fingers.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, you get some lights, put some lights on them and stuff, and you make them in different color schemes and all of that kind of stuff.
I
You can
color
customize
down.
yourself, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't put paint on it because it's very important you keep it the same way. So if you wanted to use a Sharpie or something like that, write your band name or turn it into colors or neon if you're, you know, if you got certain lights on you, if you're on stage or, you know, you could do things like that. But I wouldn't make it heavier.
I would try to put rubber around that edge and see how
You could
that
do
sounds.
that. I've done that.
Little
Yeah, I've
rubber
done that.
Boot.
Yeah, it's a more of a thumpier sound.
Yeah, yep, a little more deeper.
Yeah, right, you could do that. I've done that. I've tied a rubber band around. I've done everything.
Yeah, I want one.
It took me years to develop it. It really did.
Okay, well, so if we wanted to purchase one, well, anybody else have any questions first before I ask that? Okay, so if we wanted to purchase one, how much would it cost us?
Okay, I charge $15 for them, but with shipping and all that, I think it comes to $21.95.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I wish I could keep it cheaper than that even. Big Fur Company did make them for me for a while, and to tell you the truth, they had a little difficulty with something with their sticks, and they don't have the time anymore. So I'm looking for a new wood turner, but I do have several. I have quite a few at home to mail out if you want one. But
Okay, and like I said, I didn't want to keep you, so, but I do want to know if we did want to purchase one, or just to hang out with you, man. You're a good guy. I like you a lot, because, you know, you reached out to me and you always have good conversation. And how can we hang out with you on social media? How can we contact you if we wanted to buy a wolf bone?
I guess at wolfbone.com.
That makes sense.
You can find me. I apologize where I don't have a lot of stuff on Facebook. Computers and everything like that are kind of new to me for some reason. You know, as you're older, you don't really dive into that kind of stuff.
But
I love YouTube. You know, I love jamming with other bass players through YouTube, and especially the drummers.
So you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, Ronald Bruner, I gotta say, is a heck of a good drummer.
Okay.
If he ever wants to jam with me, man, I'd love it. But yeah, I do have a YouTube channel.
And what's that YouTube channel called?
Wolfbone.com also, I believe.
and Facebook too.
On Facebook, that's what it's Facebook.
Well, but you have Facebook too.
Facebook, yeah.
So you have a Facebook, so you have Michael Wolf on Facebook. You have a wolfbone.com.
Yeah, wolfbone.com, and you'll
on YouTube, which that's kind of like don't really exist, but maybe it do, because if you put wolfbone.com,
yeah, it'll pop
that's
up.
what's a domain name.
Yeah, there's links on the website to the Facebook, the YouTube, and the Gmail.
Oh, good.
All on the website.
Yes.
Wolfbone.com link you to YouTube and Facebook and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because I think some people be interested in, man, getting that.
Well, I hope so, and I hope whoever does order it, please use it. In other words, if you don't practice, what you're doing is you're buying a stick, you know.
I'm sure some.
But it's a cute stick.
If you practice, you know, I call it a precision instrument, which it is. There's angles on here that you probably can't see through there. But in order to hold the string, it's not a square top. It's got an angle here. Whereas it'll hold the string, it doesn't slide off of it. You know, that's what I said. It's a precision instrument. It really is.
Okay.
Develop a tone, rhythm, and speed. And I always say flow with the bone. You know, you got a good flow. And flow backwards is wolf. So, you know, what are you gonna do?
Yes, it is.
It's made for it. Right?
Okay. Well,
And I wish I could just go nuts right now, blast away, you know. I feel like doing that, but
if is there, we want you to play us something out before you go. But is there anything that you would like to say in closing?
Keep your hands strong. I always, people ask me, you know, how do you get your hands strong? I tell them to squeeze a rubber ball or something like that. It's important to keep your hands strong. There's a lot of things in life will become harder to hold on to, and you know, it's good to keep your hands strong. The other thing is be kind to each other. I've never heard a bass player that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Never. As long as they're honest, you know, and trying to show you something, or especially little kids, you know. Encourage everybody. Don't, you know, be kind to everybody. And that's the best thing I can tell anybody. And you all know that. I mean, I'm not telling you nothing new.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Okay. Well, with that
Thank you.
said, why don't you play something out? Play us something out.
All right. I don't know. I could do this early, and I don't know. Get a little rhythm more. Yeah, like I say, when I'm under the gun, forget it.
All right. All right. Hey. Mike Wolf,
Thank you.
New York bass player.
Thank you.